President.
Oh, thank you very much. And let's take this opportunity to thank the journalists who have made time. Following the press conference of the Hawks and the NPA about the VBS saga, I had some fellow asking about my involvement and that of the Deputy President of the EFF. And I therefore subsequently gave him a call to try and check why is he putting my name into matters that I'm not involved. And I explained to him the long history of how we've been accused from time to time. And I advised him that if we can assemble a group of journalists, perhaps 5, predominantly African, who can come and engage us on these matters, that will be very interesting. After that conversation with him, my son insisted that if you have nothing to hide, why are you excluding Polly van Wyk? Because she's the one who has been writing stories about you. And I immediately gave some girl a call and said, please extend the invite to Polly van Wyk, which he did and subsequently Vuyani did. In the conversation between Vuyani and Polly van Wyk, Polly said she's in Cape Town and therefore not able to travel. Vuyani said the planes are now open, you can travel. Then Polly said, I don't have a permit. Vuyani said, you are a journalist, the permits are given to journalists. Then she said, no, actually my husband is a doctor and I'm with the family and my husband is overexposed and I don't want to risk anyone's life. But I can give you the number of Mika ready to come and join because he wrote about VBS as well. And then contact, but I will join through Zoom or Skype. So she had committed to join through Zoom or Skype. Then Mika said they can't join. They collectively took a decision not to join. So that's where we come from with the Polly van Wyk. Different excuses given, trying to find every reason not to be here and take this opportunity to answer. To ask questions. Now, you will know I was arrested in Polokwane for on-point tenders, and I went to court. Since my arrest in Polokwane, I've never missed a court date. I've always been there. But NPA kept on postponing. Some of the accused will also ask for postponement for this or that reason. Not once did I ask for postponement. My last appearance in Polokwane court, I said to the judge, since these people are applying for postponement, can I be separated and be tried alone? Because I've always wanted to be accountable. I thought that gave me an opportunity to be held accountable. So the judge said to me, you cannot apply to be separated. Only the NPA can apply to separate you. And the judge extended the invitation to the NPA and said, he wants to be separated, why not take the opportunity? The NPA said, we're not going to do that. And as a result, the judge removed the matter from the roll and said to the NPA, you can institute the matter anytime you want to institute the matter. Then the favorite NPA head came and said she's reinstituting the matter and she's charging Lisiba and them and excluded me from being charged, at least for now, because she wants to see what will come out of the trial. So she wouldn't charge me. She will not charge me. Even in the future, she can't charge me. Even if she charges me, she will never succeed because I'm not involved in those things. Limpopo had a budget of 47 billion. On point got a tender of 50 million. wrongly or rightfully so, I don't want to deal with that. How can a tender of 50 million collapse a budget of 47 billion?
Sorry. Just to interrupt you there on the 50 million. On Point, you, through your family trust, were a shareholder of On Point Engineering. Surely you can't say you were not interested or not bothered on that 50 million rands contract because it impacted on your financial and economic upward mobility in life, because surely as a shareholder of On Point Engineers through Ratanang, you would get some sort of proceeds from the profits that would be generated on that contract.
It's a common cause. It's undisputed. So why do you want to canvass the grounds that are not disputed? I'm a shareholder in On Point. I got money in On Point. Madonsela makes that point. So the matter of whether On Point got a tender rightfully or wrongly is now before court. All I'm saying is you cannot have a tender of 50 million, collapse a province of a budget of 47 billion. So the intention has always been to smear me, to delegitimize me, so that I do not add my voice in the anti-corruption project of the country. So Castle was the premier, Pinky was the MEC, Masondo was the MEC. All these people who presided over that government are today ministers or deputy ministers in the clean government. The dark cloud of having collapsed the government of Limpopo remains with me, who has never been in government. But where, Samkel, maybe you'll teach me, where have you ever been, where have you ever seen a situation rather, where the corrupt get charged, but there is no the corruptee? No one is charged from government, the collapsed government of Limpopo. The person who has enabled that corruption in Limpopo. In the indictment on Point, nowhere do they say Malema bribed this one or that one in order to get the tender. So if I influenced the tender, since I was not in government, who did I influence? And what was the power of this person? And why is this person not charged? If the matter is legitimate and want to resolve the problem of corruption. That is with regard to On Point in Limpopo. So the VBS matter, right? I've never spoken to VBS people. The person I know in VBS and do not know that much about that person is Matodzi, the chairperson of Vele, who was introduced to me at the party of the Bavenda King, Wompepo. So I've never had any dealings with them. This is very simple, Samgel. When a case is opened, the Hawks have got access to all our forms of communication. They can even apply Section 205, get it from the judge, go into the history of our phones. In this case, they've done, by the way, with the VBS colleagues who are arrested. Nowhere will you ever find me in any form of communication with any of the VBS people.
But it's not about communication for you with the VBS people.
No.
There is a bank card, Mr. Malema.
We're coming to that. Yes, we're coming to that. I get it, we're building a case.
Okay.
So,
Julius, sorry, hold on. I want to go back to the issue around the VBS people that you never had contact with.
Yes.
Then one needs to ask, why was it then? Did you never wonder why they found EFF to be strategic all along? Because that's kind of what the communication has been. When you look at Paulie van Wyck's stories, which, by the way, I understand her stance for her not deciding not to come. I absolutely get it. I think it's sad because there are many questions. She's led the story of VBS and would have been great to have her in the room. But I also understand why she made a decision not to. But coming back to the issue of VBS and EFF is the one thing she's managed to show is that VBS was seen as critical throughout. I mean, EFF was seen as critical. Have you not asked yourself why, if you've never had communications with these people, why would they look at your party?
But it's CD, let's not talk general. We're no longer gossiping now. We're dealing with facts. Read an SMS where they said EFF is strategic of Paulie van Wyk. Read it to me.
All right, I think
there's no any form of communication in Vele, in VBS, in any of the evidence displayed by you where they describe EFF as being strategic. No, not a single
But
one.
you are, Julius.
Yeah.
And perhaps the one SMS that we can go to is
Yes.
the one that Floyd Shivambu sent to the former Minister of Finance, Nene.
Yes.
And just to quote there, he says, "Greetings, Minister. It looks like VBS will be placed under curatorship, mainly due to something that National Treasury had not clarified in terms of accounts of municipalities," right?
Yeah.
So this was a clear attempt by the second in command of the EFF to try and influence a decision on putting VBS under curatorship. We also know on record that the EFF played quite a strategic role in terms of communication via a press release where you were very critical of the Reserve Bank putting the bank under curatorship. So there were at least mechanizations by the EFF to stop the bank from being placed under curatorship. You clearly had an interest there.
Yes, but you're deflecting. She says there's an SMS. I'll come to that.
Okay.
There's an SMS that says EFF. It's a strategic entity to be influenced. I'm saying to her, there is no such communication. There isn't. Nowhere can you find a communication that says Julius is strategic, Floyd is strategic, EFF is strategic. There's no such a communication.
So if there is no such communication, why
Now,
is it that
the EFF opposed on principle even now. We still stand by that position that the VBS was supposed to have been rescued because it was one of the black banks. And the VBS should have been given a full banking license. And anyone found to have violated the banking regulations should be charged and blacklisted not to practice banking anywhere in the country.
But
Because
even now, Julius, you're still defending the SARB putting VBS under curatorship. I mean, given what we have seen from the forensic report about the great heist, right? How do you, at this point, say the bank should have not put VBS under curatorship when so many people have lost their money? And clearly there was mismanagement of that bank, and there are still hundreds of old people, pensioners who have lost their life savings. And today you're still saying, in principle, they should never have put it under curatorship.
I still maintain, rescue a black bank, arrest the criminals, hold them accountable, recover the money, and pay the depositors. But the idea of a black bank being closed under a democratic government, under a government which never established any bank, that bank was established by the Bavenda king, existed under difficult times. Why should it be closed now? Should we just close a bank because there are criminal elements in the banks, or should we arrest the criminal elements? Let's arrest criminal elements and rescue the bank.
But part of a curating process is just to ensure that you have a deeper look into what is happening internally. And that's part and parcel of what usually happens.
We don't oppose
Julius,
that.
do you now see, though, right, on the one hand, you as a political party and senior members of that political party trying to save this particular bank, and then subsequently reports of you, allegations of you and Floyd in particular having benefited. Do you see why there would be questions around, did you defend it because you knew there were people close to you that were benefiting from VBS and you were trying to protect that, and also by extension you were also benefiting?
No, I see that as trying to silence us in protecting a black bank. So anyone who protects blackness must be labeled as corrupt. And I will never buy into that. I've got no one close to me who benefited from VBS. No one. And I've never benefited from VBS. I'm saying to you, Matlatsi, we are here now. I'm giving you an opportunity to present to me and to the country an evidence of me taking a political position because I'm benefiting out of it. We are the ones who have always fought for black people and Africans everywhere.
Mr. Malema, you cannot use the issue of a black face to fight corruption in this instance, because you are basically just deflecting the issue. On the issue of you benefiting from VBS, for instance, there is this bank card that Paulie has done magnificent work on. Wherever you were, be it Cape Town, be it in the land hearings in the Northwest, be it in the Eastern Cape, be it at the Durban July, this credit card is always where you are, and it's Mahuna Investments, which received over 4.3 million rands from Gameka Investments, which got monies from VBS, which is a company owned by Brian Chivambu. So why is this credit card or bank card always where you are?
Well, my brother is always where I am. He's a brother of mine. We work together. So there is no problem if his card gets to be used where I am. He is here now. The card might be used somewhere here now. Let's take Durban July, for instance. My brother's company hosted a marquee in Durban July where they sell tickets and they sell alcohol to people. If you go to the hotel and you can't say, you know, you celebrating mediocre because you say Polyphon Vec did an excellent work with this card. That is, there's no excellent work. It's a bank statement. You can give me a bank statement. I'll tell you where you bought. By just looking at that, it's not intelligence.
No,
it's a bank
but
statement.
Mr. Malema, no.
I mean, she went beyond that.
What do you mean?
She has been able
no,
to
it's a
link
statement and then a Facebook status
Mr. Malema,
of the EFF.
you are telling us that this brother of yours does not work. He's always where you are. And
No, he's working. He was working in Durban. He was working in Durban.
What does he do?
Huh?
What does he do?
I just explained to you that in Durban, he hosted a Durban July marquee. I was at his marquee. He sells alcohol there. Let's take the Durban card, for instance.
And then he uses his own card to then buy stuff for you there.
Not his own, buy for me.
No, you're saying he buys wherever you go.
No, but he uses his card for himself, not buy for me. I buy for myself. And for information, I don't buy from H&H. I don't buy from Pep.
But that card bought from Gucci as well.
I don't buy from Nando's. And I don't buy for that amount at Gucci. So nothing is very close to me. If you were to look at mine, in comparison to that, you'll be shocked.
Why don't you subject yourself to a lifestyle audit?
In the Durban, coming back here, your friend Polly did an excellent work, right? The excellent work, Matlas, would be knowing that I didn't drive from Durban July. I flew. Because he says Malema on his way back from Durban July, he bought Nando's. But I flew from Durban. I didn't drive. So why would I buy Nando's? My brother in all the rallies of the EFF, he's there. All of them, by the way. All my cousins are active business people in their own right, and they're EFF members and EFF leaders. We spend most of the time together. So what he does with his own money and his own card is none of my business. I don't, for instance, the Hawks have got all the power. Let's go to Durban. Let them go to the hotel where the police says I booked into a hotel. Let them go and see. I didn't sleep in that hotel when I was at the Durban July. Let them go to a Freiburg, a land hearing. Let them go and check. Every business premises has got cameras. Let them go and check there. They will never find me in those things. Now, coming to your lifestyle audit, there's no politician in this country who has been subjected to a lifestyle audit than me. SARS conducts that. From time to time, SARS conducts that. And you will know that I've been subjected to that. So I'm not scared of such things.
Then why don't you just call for it to be done openly and...
On which grounds?
Mr. Malema, you're saying your cousins and your brothers are in business, and some of them are always around you.
Particularly, no, all of them.
All of them, they're always around you. You've had a scenario in this country where former president's relatives and the incumbent's son were all doing business with relatively, what may say, allegations of dodgy business people. Are you not, in a sense, having your brothers or your cousins compromise you? Because they are essentially, with Mahuna and Skameka and Sangantara, they are involved in these issues of VBS.
They are business people. No. They've always been. No, they are. And
no,
they don't
deny that. When I'm coming in, sorry, Julius.
No, but you just started by saying no. What
okay,
is
let me
that?
give you
They
a chance
are business people.
No, go ahead.
And they've been business people long before the EFF. Some of them implicated in Limpopo. Some of them have gone through the courts in Limpopo and won cases in Limpopo. I'm not there when they get to be subjected to those things. They answer for themselves. Majority of them, by the way, married with not less than 2 kids. So if they can't do business, what must they do? I can't feed them. In a country where the unemployment is very high.
So you are saying that it's okay to have your cousins allegedly compromise you in the form of
No, they're not compromising me. It's correct for my cousins to do business. Let them do it.
Okay, Julius?
Let them do it.
Fair, yeah. I accept that. Né?
Yeah.
You know, last year, towards the EFF second elective conference, the NPA,
yeah.
you were upset about the behavior of particular EFF leaders in regions, in provinces, those who were lazy.
Yes.
And you were speaking about the clumsiness and the impact of all of that on brand Julius Malema specifically.
Not me.
No, hold on, let me finish. Yes, you.
No, but
because then, Julius, before then, you and I had a sit down.
But quote it.
I'm not gossiping. I'm taking it to our interview.
I've never said that.
Let me finish.
Quote it.
Let me finish.
Yes.
Then you and I have a sit down.
Yes.
And I said to you, you seem really upset when you see the things that happen and the attacks on the EFF because you say they fall on your head, and you agreed.
Yes.
And you spoke about the impact of anything that goes wrong. It is pointed directly at Julius Malema. Surely one expects you to have a similar perspective on family.
Yes.
If your family, which has the right to do business, you're correct, steps out of turn, is attached to anything like VBS where they are said to have stolen from Bukoko, surely, as Julius Malema, who said what he said to me last year, you have the same mindset and have the right to go back to your family and go like, guys, don't do that, lang compromise.
No. My brothers, let's take Tsepo for instance, is a former national leader of the YCL, politically conscious, and knows what is wrong and what is right. He knows that he has to engage in business in an ethical manner. They are old enough to know that. And if they do not comply with the laws of South Africa, they must know they will be arrested, they will be sent to jail, and there's nothing I can do. So from where I am, my brothers have done nothing wrong. And where they've done anything wrong, they've always been held accountable. So many of them have been to SARS inquiries, by the way. Many of them have been subjected to assessment by SARS. Many of them have been questioned by the Hawks. So in their own right, without my involvement, I can't say to them, don't get involved in business. I can say to them, don't engage in corrupt activities. The same way I will say to you, Samkel, be ethical journalists, do not take brown envelopes. That's all I can say. But I'm not going to have a brother who's a journalist and then say to him, no, you can't be a journalist because journalist takes brown envelopes. And he will say to me, but I'm a different one. I'm ethical, and I know that by virtue of being your cousin, you may be implicated. In my family, we don't have a history of criminals. No one has ever engaged in criminal activities. They are very handsome boys, majority of them engaged in clean business, and they are doing very well for themselves. And I want to encourage them to do more and empower more other young people.
If you could give me a few minutes, Julius.
Yeah, sure.
So I just want to be quite clear. So you are stating categorically that you have never enjoyed any of the money that was taken from, looted from VBS.
Matlatse, you've got the platform, put it to me. That's my vision.
I am asking you.
That's my vision. I've never benefited any cent from VBS. And why would I benefit from VBS in exchange for what?
Okay, so
if this is the vision I present and you refuse to accept it, present your vision.
I just want us to be quite clear. So
yes.
All right. Now you're saying that this credit card that Polly in her investigation has shown that it has followed you around.
Yes.
Did you at any point benefit from the use of that credit card by simply the fact that this is your cousin, brother who is with you and might have bought something for you?
Well, I wouldn't know if he used the credit card. He won't say to me, Buti, I'm now going to swipe a VBS card or Mauna card or anything. So if I'm sitting with him, one of the instances Polly mentions in Seychelles, that we went to Nimi's Chisanyam. So I will go sit there with them. And then when I leave, they pay.
Okay.
So I wouldn't know how they paid and all of that.
So
but now you do. Julius, what I'm saying is that now you do know that there was money that was taken from VBS.
Not by my cousin. My cousin has never used any VBS money.
But Mr. Malema, there is a proven payment from Skameka,
yes,
which received a payment from VBS
so
into Mahuna.
So Skameka is VBS according to you.
No, but
the money, the source of the money is VBS. It moved from VBS, Vela, to Skameka, to Mahuna. The very same Mahuna that in the middle of a fuel contract in Tshwane, just in the middle of the adjudication of the tenders, had been receiving monies the day before, on the day of the tender of the adjudication, or that is Mahuna, and after the adjudication of that particular tender in Tshwane. So this Mahuna, wherever the EFF is co-governing, whether it be Joburg, Tshwane, now in the issue allegations of corruption in VBS, it's there. And this company is linked to who? To you through your brother or cousin.
You know, you just did a very brilliant work for me. Because you say that card is VBS card, but at the same time you say there was money that came from a company that does work in Tshwane, a company that does work in Joburg, a company that does work in agriculture department. So it's not a VBS money. It's a money that belongs to Mahuna.
Part of that money was
now your new question is part of the money now.
No, I'm saying to you, Julius, so there is some benefit and
but you keep on shifting the goalpost.
I want to finish my question.
Yes, you keep on shifting the goalpost. Your colleague answered you. The same card has got businesses in different entities. It's not receiving money only from Skameka.
Mr. Malema, Mr. Malema, no, stop misquoting things. For instance,
misquoting who?
Let me give you a classical example. This particular company, fuel company in Tshwane, the tender is advertised on the 19th of June 2018. On the 5th of July 2018 is a full tender compulsory briefing. On the 6th of July, Mahuna Investments, from this particular company that is tendering to get this contract, tendering, hasn't gotten the contract yet, pays an amount of 250,000 rands to Mahuna Investments. What is Mahuna providing to this particular company that is bidding in Tshwane and is linked to your cousin? And the day after, a particular payment of, when the tender closes, R1 million payment is made to DDM Media and Entertainment, which is linked to the Secretary General of the Economic Freedom Fighters, Marshal Dlamini. On the 27th of July, a further 500,000 rands is deposited into this Mahuna Investments from this company that is tendering to get this contract in Tshwane, which was set aside yesterday at the North Gauteng High Court. Yes. So what is the relationship?
The relationship is that the company is doing business with other companies.
What kind of business is this Mahuna doing there?
It's not doing business. It's not only receiving money from Skameka. I'm happy that point you have clarified it so well for me. The company is involved in different types of businesses, be it consulting, be it entertainment, be it events, be it accommodation, hospitality. It does different types of things. It did business with the company that got fuel tender in Tshwane. But we were not controlling Tshwane. We didn't have any, you see, Samkelo, the best journalism would be, Malema, you got 500,000 into Mahuna, and then you went to speak to the municipal manager. Municipal manager spoke to the chair of the bidding committee, and then the adjudicating committee. Therefore, this company got a tender. You cannot just throw an allegation and say, yeah, they gave you a bribe, and then they got a tender. How did we influence it? The mayor is a DA mayor. The administrators are appointed by the DA. In the same tender, Samkelo, do further investigation. Amabungani then comes later to say, no, actually this guy has got a cousin who sits in the bid committees there. It looks like it's the one who gives him tenders. But the reality of the situation is that that company you are talking about did business in Tshwane long before the existence of the EFF. They didn't start doing business in Tshwane because of the EFF. But the EFF never controlled the tenders, the process, the senior managers of Tshwane. So, Matlatsi, the money my brother uses is not the money of VBS. It's the money of his company that comes from all types of sources.
Including VBS.
Including Skameka. He has never received money
including Skameka from VBS.
No, you can. The reality is that my brother and me, You can say all you want to say. We don't have any dealings with VBS. We don't have. And you cannot present any evidence sitting here, and I allow you to do it, that suggests my brother gets this money from Sgamega because he did the following work for VBS, or I did that. No, people are going to be arrested now, Matlatsi. Watch the space. CFOs, municipal managers, mayors, and some politicians in the ANC. I want to tell you now that if there is any municipality that can say, we put money into the VBS because Malema said we must do that, I will resign all the positions of the EFF without any hesitation.
Mr. Malema, stop deflecting.
I'm not deflecting, unless you don't know the concept of deflecting.
Wait. This can't be your show.
Then say it in suit.
It can't be your show. We need to, let's engage.
It's my show. I'm the one who's answering questions.
We're here for an engagement. If it's your show, we're going to walk out.
Don't threaten because you don't have facts.
You. That's a fact.
You are threatening. You don't have issues, you are threatening. You ran out of issues.
Mr.
But now you ran out of issues. Now you want to go. The door is open. If you exhausted your issues, you can go.
Mr. Malema.
You don't know what deflection means. We're still on VBS.
Mr. Malema, these payments, is it not suspicious to you that this particular company in Tshwane that is bidding for this contract is making payments to DDM Entertainment of Marshall Dlamini, the SG, and also making payments without you clarifying what sort of business they are doing to this particular BTT fuel company or trading company that got this contract that has been nullified by the North Gauteng High Court? Why are they making payments to Mahuna and to DDM and later on to Slankatara of investments, which is also linked to you? Is it not suspicious to you?
No, it's not at all. The boys are working. It's business to business relationship.
What kind of business are they doing?
I've explained to you. I said consultancy, hospitality, management, events, all types of events. So I wouldn't want to go and answer details of what the boys are doing with the company in question.
Are you not concerned that you have companies?
No, I'm concerned. I asked
people
them.
close to you are implicated in so many things.
That's why I asked them. No, not in so many things.
Okay, in the few things that have been maybe not so
so you asked them.
I asked them. I asked, and they explained. They explained everything that, specifically with the companies that are exposed. I may not know other things, but I will ask them, what's happening here? What is the story here? They will be able to say to, Chief, these people who are involved with them on this project, which has got nothing to do with Tshwane. So let's take Joburg, for instance, Matlatsi, on the fleet management company. The boys are engaged with that company on agricultural projects in Limpopo, which was way before the fleet. They don't control what that guy does, but they've had subcontract with him in Limpopo in the agriculture department. But because they paid each other, those monies there, now they want to expose this guy of fleet. They say, no, he paid a bribe to Julius. Even when contracts are shown and invoices, it's still not enough.
My next question to you would be, so...
Aldrin,